Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice radio. So today, we're going to be looking at another exciting new card from the upcoming Ultra Prism expansion. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Torterra. Now, I know a lot of you like Torterra. I get a lot of messages, a lot of comments about Torterra. Why haven't we had a new Torterra card in a while? Where's our Torterra? Well, I've got great news, ladies and gentlemen. Torterra is here, and it could be useful. It could be a viable deck. Now, it is a grass Pokemon, which is quite nice because you get both Lurantis, more on them in a moment. It means you're hitting weakness against Lycanroc, but honestly, you're not hitting weakness against, to be honest, anything else. Nothing relevant anyway. It's got a retreat cost of 4, which is very large, but you get Heavy Ball, so it could be worse. Weakness to fire is relevant because of Volcanion, although at the moment Volcanion is not seeing a huge amount of play, though there's nothing to stop it coming back. And 180 HP is huge in terms of stage 2s, non-GXs. The only one that really matches it here is my boy, Mamoswine. Go Mamoswine! Now, the first attack here is the one that excites me quite a lot. For 2 grass and 1 colourless energy, you do 50 damage, and you heal an amount of damage the same as you did. The same amount of damage you did, that's what you heal. Now, one thing I should mention here, that you cannot use double colourless energy. This makes it a pretty expensive attack, which kind of sucks. Now, you could always use Lurantis GX to accelerate a bit of energy here. Lurantis's Flower Supply is an attack we all thought was going to be really good. I am guilty of more than once saying how great Lurantis is going to be. 40 damage, and you get to attach 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way that you like. You could put 2 on 1 Turtwig, or 1 on each of 2 Turtwig, etc. It seems like such a good thing, but it's not seen any play so far. And now that Forest of Giant Plants has rotated, honestly, if I had to guess, I would say it's probably going to see less play as we go forward. Well, it can't really see that much less play, I suppose, but I certainly don't expect it to be taking off and seeing a huge amount of play as we go forward. The thing is, you've got 180 HP. That is a lot. It's hard to one-hit KO that. And it's not a GX Pokemon. So Choice Band isn't going to get a one-hit KO. Okay? So what we need to do here is try and make sure that we are healing as much as we're doing and essentially making ourselves invincible. Okay, challenge accepted. So we start off with our base damage here of 50. Dealing 50, healing 50, not particularly great. You're not going to stay around for long healing 50. Then we add a Choice Band, and assuming we're against an EX or a GX, we're doing 80. Getting closer. And then the real great thing here is you bring in the non-GX Lurantis. Now, non-GX Lurantis comes in, and the ability says that all of your fire and grass Pokemon do an extra 20 damage. So in theory, if you get 4 of these out, you're doing an extra 80 damage. With Choice Band, that puts you up to 160. It's not quite 180. But honestly, it's only 10 away, because if they do 180, you're KO'd. So unless they do exactly 170, this will be enough to completely heal you while doing a whole bunch of damage. Although, fun side note, you could play a Professor Kukui here if you really had to heal that extra 10 damage. Okay, it's possible. We can do this. Now, one big problem here, and it is a big problem, bench space. Because now we're using Torterra. There's 1 out of your 6 Pokemon. You've got 5 bench spaces. Well, if you're using 4 Lurantis, that leaves you with only 1 bench space. And given that basically every deck plays Tapu Lele, ideally on turn 1 for a Bridget, and this is a deck where you would want to do that. But even if not for a Bridget, then at some point in the game you're probably going to want to play a Tapu Lele. There goes your bench space, ladies and gentlemen. Now, one thing you could use to accelerate here, and again, bench space is going to be a huge issue. But you could use Leafeon GX. Leafeon GX has an amazing GX attack, and given that Torterra is a non-GX, so you don't need a GX attack on that. 1 grass energy, and don't forget the energy evolution Eevee, so you can attach a grass energy and immediately evolve up into Leafeon and use this for a single energy. You just get to evolve all of your benched basic Pokemon, which is nuts. And this is a lot to ask for, and it will very rarely work. But if you could get a Leafeon in the active with 4 Fomantis and a Turtwig on the bench, you could get all 4 Lurantis out turn 1, evolve into a Grovetile, and then next turn Torterra comes out and you're ready to go, turn 2. It's not likely at all. Bench space is going to bring it back. But if you're playing a grass deck where you've got lots of evolutions going on, do bear in mind that Leafeon GX is a thing. So the real question here with Torterra, how many Pokemon can just do 180 to get a one-hit KO? Well, let's look at some of the main Pokemon in the format at the moment. Zoroark GX, and remember, none of these can use Choice Band, you're not a GX. Zoroark GX maxes out at 120, great, you're not getting KO'd. Golisopod, 150, and that's with Crossing Cut GX. By the way, I know that like Golisopod can use Lurantis, etc. I'm assuming we're playing regular lists, not very rarely seen techs. Gardevoir needs 6 energy to get a one-hit KO. You'll have 3 on you, so if they get 3, they can KO. Fairly likely, to be honest. Tapu Bulu, discarding the energy, can get a KO with Nature's Judgment. Metagross maxes out at 150, so doesn't get a KO. Yes, I know they can with Dhelmise, but how many Metagross lists are playing free Dhelmise? The answer is none of the ones that I've seen. Buzzwole's second attack with a single strong energy can get a one-hit KO, and Garbodor can do it if you use 9 items. Essentially, a lot of them can't, and the ones that can, it's not that easy. We're talking many energy, if this happens, if that happens, blah, blah, blah. So there is a chance for tankiness here. The one thing I'll say is, if you come across something like a Volcanion that's hitting for weakness, or a Tapu Bulu that can get a one-hit KO, you will lose pretty much straight away. It's a lot of setup to get this healing going, and there are some decks that will be able to get a one-hit KO anyway. But if not, could be an awful lot of fun. The second attack here is a grass colorless, so basically just add 1 more grass energy to your previous attack. 180 damage, and it does 20 damage to all of your benched Pokemon. Sounds like fun. 180 damage is a lot. It gets you a straight one-hit KO on Drampa and Darkrai. If you add a Choice Band, you're doing 210, which is enough to KO stuff like Buzzwole, Golisopod, Zoroark, etc., all of which see a fair amount of play at the moment. And I like the fact that you can just add 1 more grass energy to your previous attack, and off you're going here. I don't think this is an every game attack. I don't think it's an every turn attack. But you know what? This is going to get you big one-hit KOs. So if you're not healing or you've just got a couple prizes left to win the game, this could be a great way to do it. Now, 20 damage to each of your bench could be slightly annoying, but we've got options. You could play a Mr. Mime, although the whole bench space thing comes in here. Or you could play something like the Reshiram and Zekrom from Shining Legends, which would then come in with their outrage attacks, do extra damage for each damage counter on them. It could be a fun little interaction there. Here's the thing though, as great as this might be, and as much potential as both of these attacks have, there's a lot of downsides. They're both very expensive and we don't have great ways to accelerate energy. And there's too much setup for the first attack, and it's way too expensive for the second attack to be that reliable, and we just end up with a Pokemon that could be quite good, but is probably going to be too expensive. Having said that, people said very similar things about the Torterra from Unleashed, which had the exact same attack, although it did 40 base damage, not 50, and that won German Nationals. Just putting it out there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to give Torterra 3 Wassies. It's good, but there's a lot of downsides. Are there too many downsides to make it viable? I don't know. That's why we test. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to know from you guys. Let me know what you think about Torterra. Do you think it's viable? Which of the two attacks do you think is better? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, etc., you can do so by going to patreon.com/PTCGRadio. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.